Look around you. This is the Germany the world comes to see at Christmas time. Glowing stalls, steaming mugs, and an entire season built on warmth and tradition. But the truth is, Christmas markets didn't start like this at all. They weren't cheerful, they weren't decorated, and they certainly weren't about holiday spirit. So today in episode 1 of this mini-series, we're digging into a story that stretches back hundreds of years to find out how a simple winter market transformed into one of Europe's most beloved traditions.
Welcome back to the channel, adventurers. Today we have another special one. I mean, let's be real, it's always a special one. But today we're in Aschaffenburg, Germany at the Christmas market, or the Weihnachtsmarkt. If you don't know much about it, don't worry, we're going to learn about it today. And if you know about it and you've been there, well, hopefully you learn a little bit of something and you get to relive some of the memories you had at the Christmas market. As we explore, as we always do on this channel, we're going to learn a little bit about what we're seeing. And today we're going to learn about the origins of the Christmas market, especially in Germany, because that's where it originated. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, you better do it today, because we have 2 more episodes at different Christmas markets talking about entirely different topics. Different topics, sorry. I hear the clinking behind me and there's a lot of glühwein, and I haven't had one yet, so I'm ready to have a glühwein. But if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do it now, because you don't want to miss the upcoming episodes. But as I go get the glühwein that I so desperately want, let's learn a little bit about the question, what is that moment of what is the origin? What is this place? What is the origins? Where did the Christmas market even come from? Let's find out.
Back in the Middle Ages, people weren't gathering for Christmas cheer. They were preparing to survive the cold. Towns held simple winter markets where you could buy meat, grain, warm clothing, everything you needed before the snows came in. No music, no ornaments, just necessity. But then Advent arrived, and not as the chocolate-filled countdown we know today, but as a season of reflection and charity. By the 14th and 15th centuries, churches began blending these winter markets with the growing customs of Advent, and that's when something changed. The practical markets slowly became festive ones. Food stalls appeared, craftsmen sold small gifts, a sense of celebration started to slip into the cold streets. This is when winter markets became Christmas markets.
So now that we have our foundational understanding of the origins of the Christmas market, and I have, more importantly, the glühwein, which I will get into the glühwein in the next episodes. We're going to go to other Christmas markets and get more into the history of the Christmas markets, explore it, all of that stuff. But now that we have this, I'm very, very curious. How did we go from what came out of the original Christmas markets, and how did we get all of this? And that's the history I want to know. I want to figure out where that bridge is. How did we get to what we see today and what I'm showing you today? So let's learn about this, and I'm going to have a little more of my glühwein. Cheers.
As the centuries rolled on, these little winter fairs kept growing. By the 1500s and 1600s, you'd find toy makers carving by lantern lights, bakers selling spiced breads, and craftsmen offering gifts for the season. Even the first mulled wine sellers and street musicians joined in. Slowly, the markets took on new identity, warm, festive, unmistakably tied to Christmas. And by the 1800s, towns across Germany were calling them Weihnachtsmarkt. Then came the destruction of the Second World War. When peace finally returned, Christmas markets weren't just celebrations anymore. They became symbols of rebuilding, of local pride, of culture returning to the streets. Today, they're one of Germany's most beloved traditions and one of its biggest winter attractions.
I feel like that's a pretty good foundational understanding without getting way too deep into Christmas market history. We try to keep it a little bit high level while still having fun while we're exploring other places. Again, that's what we do on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. There's a lot of things you probably have seen throughout this. If you're familiar with Christmas markets, whether you've been to them or if you're just not familiar at all, that you have a little bit of questions, like the Christmas pyramid, the glühwein, the food, the Rauschenmärchen. I'm not even pronouncing that right. We're going to get into those in other episodes, so don't worry, stay tuned, subscribe, and join the journey. I'm going to finish my glühwein. We're going to wander around a little bit more and show some of the sites. It's starting to get a little bit packed. People are getting off of work on the Friday, and you know it's going to be a good time. It's the first weekend before Advent in Germany, so it's going to be a really good time tonight. So stay tuned for the next episodes as we move on to Seligenstadt next episode. And as always, adventure awaits.